Hello, this is Barbara again, and those who are watching live, we're just trying to work out some of the audio stuff. So I hope you can hear me. And I just wanted to, like I said before, which you may not have heard of, but I made an announcement that we were doing an adaptive yoga, gentle yoga class on Mondays, but we're not going to be doing it quite yet. Just trying to get everything figured out here with now, the YMCA can be open to the public. But not classes quite yet. Anyway, so that was my announcement. And again, I'm Barb. So let's just start with our typical starting place is to have like a nice meditation. And I'm glad I just got the okay that the sound is working. So, good. So let's just get started with a nice slow meditation, closing your eyes, gazing at the ground with soft eyes. And just focusing on the seat that you're sitting on. Maybe you're on the ground. I have blankets I sit on. And just bringing your attention to the quality of your mind right now. In yoga, there's 3 states of mind, and one of them is sattvic, the other is rajasic, and the last one is tamasic. And in yoga, we often aim for sattvic, which is calm and peaceful, quiet, and kind of ethereal in a way, very spiritual. But we also need the other 2. And one of them is I call it the lower one. Tamasic is what you need to go to sleep at night with. That state of mind. But it can also drag you down. Very lethargic. And then there's the one in the middle, the very busy, doer, active one called rajasic. And we're going to be using rajasic when we're in active poses. Sattvic in meditation, tamasic in poses we tend to hold for longer periods of time. So just doing your own body inquiry and mind inquiry right now. And breathing in and extending your spine up. And breathing out, allow it to relax, just to kind of come down. 2 more breaths like that. So breathing in, extending the spine like you're a seated dancer. And down. And up. Breathing in. And down, and then bring your hands to your heart center, Anjali Mudra, as we dedicate our practice today to whatever it is that we need to focus on, which you will have your own focus. And then bring your hands down to your knees on your lap and opening your eyes. And here we are, our practice. I'm just going to extend my legs out and just do a little leg up and down. And come back into, what I often try to do is change the cross of my legs. I sit a long time in one cross, probably helpful to recross it. And I know a lady that she does one day one way, another day another way. So whatever works for you. And let's just walk our hands forward. So on your fingertips, walk forward. And then walk over to the right. And walk over to the left. Just a little bit of movement. And then coming up. And just before we go anything further here, let's just do a couple of ujjayi breaths just to get focused. Ocean breath, in through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe a third one. To your breath cycle. Okay, so we're going to do a twist right now, and it's going to be taking your right hand. Actually, let's take your left hand on your. So whatever this should be actually your left foot. So if you haven't already got your left foot in front, whether you're doing this, and hopefully if you're on your block, you can just basically hold on to your opposite knee. So, but if you have your legs like this, you can press actually this is my left hand, and my left hand is on my left, just above my left shin. Right hand comes behind you, lift up. So when you're doing a twist, you lift up for the in-breath, and then the out-breath, you go over to your right. So it's not a big twist. And come to center. And now changing across. I just crossed it. We're going to change it again. And this is what I did, of course. And this is my right hand is on my right, just above my right ankle. Lifting up. And then having that left hand come behind you. So the in-breath is lift. Out-breath is twist. Remembering the nose is what we're breathing through. In and out. And coming to center. We're going to come on our backs right now. So I'm going to do this profile because it's easier for you to see. And I have a couple of blankets. I always say it's a good idea to sit on blankets when you're doing yoga because you want your hips to be, you want the tilt to be down. You don't want to be rounding your lower back when you're doing this. So we're just going to do a little side bend here. Here we are laying down and I have a blanket under my head. You don't need to, but this is what I do. So bring your feet close in, and then so this is gonna look a little weird. You're gonna use I'm not gonna mirror you right now. So this is actually my right side. So you'll have to adjust and then just walk over, like with your hands and your elbows. You're gonna walk over to the side here. So your head's off to the side. Of course, mine needs the blanket. And then you're gonna hold on to the right ankle with your right hand. Bring the left hand over. And then you're gonna do a side bend like this. So breathing in, you're gonna feel, because this is again, I'm bending to the right, but my left rib cage is gonna get a really good stretch here. And then coming up to center, adjust my blanket over. We're gonna go to the other side. So I'm gonna actually look away from you and just making sure my feet are positioned well. And then we're just going to kind of rotate my upper body over to the left. And then taking that left hand and grabbing on to my left ankle. And now I'm going to bring my right arm overhead for a side stretch. Breathing into the right side of the body. Maybe using your ujjayi breathing. And then coming up. And if you have, I'm going to come up a bit. If you have a yoga strap or a belt or a long scarf, this is a yoga strap. This is an 8-foot long strap. If you have something like that, that would be great. We're going to use it right now. Mine has a loop in it. I'm just going to take all the loops out. And we're going to use this for basically for a hip opener. And so get mine undone. So you want a block and you want your strap or your belt, make sure it's long enough, or a scarf. And you're going to take, and I'm going to actually, each side I'm going to turn around so you can see me, but this is what we're going to be doing. So you're going to take this block, it's going to be on the low setting, just on the outside of your right hip, okay? And you're going to take the block, the strap, and just put it around the ball of your foot. Now this other leg, this is my right leg, this left leg, you can leave it bent. You can straighten it. Another option is to bend it and then just have it kind of, roll out to the left. So whatever's easiest for you. But this is really nice because it helps your left hip not come up when you're doing this. So you want to push out through the heel, and then you're going to take the foot and you're going to rotate the foot and the knee out to the right. So it's rotated out to the right, and then you're going to bring it down. And it's not going to come down that far because your hip is going to hit this block. But it's a really nice way to open up the hips without, really trying to strain a whole bunch. Just allowing that to happen, breathing in and out. And just feel that stretch on the inside of the leg. And this is a nice time to notice your back on the ground beneath you supporting your back, supporting your glutes, your calves and your heels, and your shoulders. And then bring this up. This is my right hand now. I'm going to take my left hand and hold on to the strap with the left hand and just bring this foot, this leg, just about 6 inches past the midline. So what it does, it gets a really nice stretch here. And breathing and pushing through the heel. And then coming up, and then you can release this down. And then just take the block away and just lay this right leg next to the left leg and notice if there's any difference between your right hip and your left hip. You might notice a little more relaxation on this side. And then I'm going to move to the other side of the mat to see me better. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, here we are. So here's the block right outside here. Okay, this happens to be my hip replacement side. Okay, so you got your scarf or your belt or your yoga strap. So here's the first thing here, and then see what that other leg can do. This leg on this side, my right leg's a little bit less flexible. And then I'm going to make sure my shoulders are not kind of coming up. Okay. Take the foot and point it out to the left, which of course the knee will go out to, and then you're going to bring this out to the left. And this other leg could be bent again. It could just be like out to the right, whatever is comfortable for you. And you'll notice that your right hip is on the ground here, pretty much on the ground. And that's the nice thing about the block, stabilizing your hips. And then bring that up slowly. And then this is my left hand. I'm going to take my right hand on the strap and just bring it over a little bit. Like I said, about 6 inches past the midline. Breathing. Just bringing my awareness to the body and how it's feeling right now, without judgment, without evaluation. And then just bring that foot up to the center, and you can then bring it down and take the strap away. And then just lay that left leg next to that right leg and notice now, how do they feel? This is a great way to start your practice. Hip openers. Okay, great. So I'm going to come around and see what I had in mind. So that's perfect. Yeah, we're going to do like one more thing on the ground, just because it's nice to loosen up a little bit more. And so your feet are going to be on each side of the mat. And then let's just, again, my head down. I'm going to rotate my legs back and forth. Windshield wipering. A little bit more ease for the hips. Ooh. You might even hear a back crack, which I just did. Yeah. You know, there's I was reading the other day about fascia and how we move in just everyday life. And then you come up to center. And what they said was that when you can do different movements, like, you know, when we do twists here in class, sometimes the twists are a little bit different than a normal yoga twist. And those twists are great because they kind of move the fascia in different ways. So does what we were just doing. All of this stuff, the more you can do different movements in yoga, well, within reason, of course. You don't want to do something that would hurt you. So I always tell people, if what we're doing ever hurts you, you want to stop what you're doing. You don't want to continue because you don't want to hurt yourself. So that said, let's just do a little bit of cat-cow. So pressing into the hands, you press into the hands, breathe in, and have your whole back like a parachute. And breathe out. And breathe in. And out. And in. And this time, come back into a half child's pose as you breathe out. Breathe in. You're still in cat. And out. And in. Through your nose, breathe out, come down halfway. Breathe in and out. One last time, in and out, halfway back. In and out. Excuse me. There we go. Then you can broaden your knees if you want to. It's up to you what you want to do. And then come back into a child's pose. And it's nice to have a block there under your head. I put it on medium setting because often I'll find my head just droops down like I'm at a computer. Not helpful. And then coming up, and we're going to come to standing. So we are. So coming to standing, find your way to come up. There we go. And we're going to do a little bit of a, like a sun salutation. Oh, standing up, I look a lot different. So probably I'm going to take this mic. Let's see, we need to move it up a little bit. We're kind of in a new place here. There we go. That's it. In a new place, and so camera's a little closer. So let's start with, you might want to have blocks in front, for yourself. Here we are. And let's just get started first with looking at your feet. All four corners of the feet in your awareness. Your Tadasana. And then bring the hands down, wide and up. You are upward hands pose. And another one you could do here is just come up to the feet, your toes. You're on your toes. This is not easy. I've been working at this one for a while here. Coming onto the toes. And then you can come down into chair pose. Your comfortable chair pose, okay? And then up. And then down into Uttanasana. And then a halfway lift, breathing in. So halfway lift would look like this, okay? And then coming down into Uttanasana. And then now you do want to have your block, one block nearby. So step your left foot back. You're in a runner's lunge now. So I'll come sideways. Runner's lunge. And then you want to take your front, and this is your right foot, and have it out. So it's pointed out. Your block is just under, kind of close to your shoulder. And then you're going to bring your right arm up for a twist. Okay. So push through that left hand into the block. Push so that your left shoulder is on your ears. Up. Right. Good. And then coming down. And then you put your hands on either side of the front foot, and let's come back into our downward facing dog. Very important pose. And use this as an opportunity to come over into plank. And downward dog. And plank. So breathing out into plank, downward dog, breathing in. One more plank, down into plank. Up into downward facing dog. Then you can walk your feet to your hands. And now you're in Uttanasana. And halfway lift. Coming down. And then come up into Urdhva Hastasana. And if you can, lift, come onto your toes. And Anjali Mudra, bringing your heels down. So that's a variation, my own variation, I should say. Let's do that again, one more time. So arms down, wide and up. Coming down into chair pose, breathing out. Your chair pose, and breathing in, and breathing out, coming down into Uttanasana. Halfway lift, breathing in, and this time take the left leg back into a runner's lunge. I'm going to grab my block to have it close by. So you see what a runner's lunge is like. You're at the starting line and you're ready to run. This is what a runner's lunge is, right? And with this one, I'm trying to make sure I've got the right side here. It seems like I might not. Let's do the right side. Okay, so this is the right leg back, so I apologize to you. I have to mirror, and sometimes I forget. So take this left foot out, and then bring the arm up. So this is my left arm up. This is what it looks like from front. Okay. So this is my left foot forward, right foot back. And coming down, and then we're going to come into downward facing dog. And then just
walk your feet forward to your hands. So you're now in Uttanasana. Halfway lift, like an offering. And coming down again, breathing out. And coming up, breathing in and up and down. Yeah. So that is a really nice place to start to get a little warm up here. Okay, so let's start with a downward facing dog, not downward facing dog, but wide angle forward fold here. And it's always good to have your blocks nearby in case you need them. So with this one, you're wide like this, so like one leg length apart, essentially is what you want to be. And when you come down, we're going to interlace our hands behind, back, in case you're lifted. But when you come down, it's like you're riding a fat horse. So you're going to press your feet apart. Your knees will bend, your thighs will come out, and you'll come down. And then straighten your legs when you get down there. And pull your shoulders away from your ears. Breathing, Ujjayi breathing. And then bend the knees again. We're going to come up and down 3 times. So press the feet apart, come up. And you can move your hips forward a bit if you like. Come into a back bend. Whatever your back bend looks like. And coming down again, pressing the feet apart. Thighs pressed, knees bent. And now you're straightening your legs. Straighten your legs here. And one more time, coming up. Up, 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 up. Hips forward a little bit. And down. And then you can just keep your arms where they're at and just do your side lunge, kind of a high side lunge. Release your hands down, and we're going to start bringing the arms forward. So this is my right arm forward. I'm over to the right, left arm forward, right arm forward, left arm forward. Right. One more each side. Here's one, and then come to center. You can hold your ankles here. And then press against the ankles to do like a low lift. Okay. And coming down. And now we're going to just heel toe your feet so they come to like hip width apart. And then bring your knees are bent. Bring your hands just above your knees and push up into like a chair pose, the lower part of chair pose. Our chair pose. And if you want to, arms can come up into your chair pose and then push through the heels, up. Arms behind, so thumbs point to the back of your room as you open up. Let's do that 2 more times. Arms overhead, open up. And one last time. Arms overhead. Open up. Here we are. Perfect. So this is a very nice thing you can do every day, that opening, and you can start with the palms down, flip them up, and come back. Very helpful to do. So anyway, that's what I have been doing. So one thing I've done before, and of course this is going to challenge me on left, right. So I'm trying to, transcribe everything I do. So what you see is right is actually to my left. So we're going to do a thing called clock. It's a balance pose. And so imagine that in front, right around you, you've got a whole clock here.
And for the balance, we're going to take, so this is my right foot, my pressure's on the right foot. And so basically the foot is coming forward into 12 o'clock and then 6 o'clock. I think I've done this before, 12, 6, 12, 6. Come to center. So this would be 12 o'clock, and then bring the foot in. 11 o'clock, foot in. 10 o'clock, foot in. 9 o'clock, in. 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. We'll do 6 o'clock again, and then bring the knee up into stork pose and down. So that's one side. And this is something you can do at home for fun. Not that everybody thinks exercise is fun. So let's do the other side now. So this is my right foot. My weight is on my left foot. I'm going to do 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Come to center. Again, 12 o'clock. And this is going to be 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Maybe one more time, 6, and then come up into stork pose. So this is a way to do balancing and make it a little fun. And release down. And then you can just do some hip circles. Sometimes we get a little, and we can actually do this into our arms. And you just kind of bring the other leg up. Because we're not here to do vigorous vinyasa yoga, it's more of combination. So I looked at the description, it said varied. So sometimes it's a little more vigorous than other times. Okay, good. So let's do, probably the blocks would be helpful for you to have here in front, maybe medium or high setting. And we're going to start with a warrior one pose. So right foot forward, left foot back. So warrior one, the back foot is off that way, and so are the hips. And your feet are about hip distance apart. So hip distance apart are these bones, not the outside, but these bony protrusions here. Okay. So this is warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Look at your front knee. Make sure it's not sickling in. If you notice that, just lift your front heel about an inch and let that hip. Take that out, okay? And then arms overhead. And we're going to look off to the side because this shows you that this is a twist. So the upper body is twisting. This twists a little bit, but mostly it's focused there. So you have this twist going on, okay? And then you're going to straighten the front knee and come down into pyramid pose. Now you might need your blocks there or not. So it's bringing your head to your knee, but it's a pyramid. You really feel that along the right hamstring. And then bend the front knee, and you're going to push through that foot, push the feet apart, coming up, coming back into your warrior one, looking at the side, and then coming forward. And then come forward into your pyramid pose, straighten your front knee, coming down. You could be maybe touch the ground. Maybe you're touching blocks. And then bend that front knee, push the feet apart as you come up. Arms here, warrior one. And little key fingers are facing each other. Over into your true warrior one, because this is like a start place, and then we end up here. Then coming down into pyramid pose, straighten the front knee, breathing, your ujjayi breathing. And then bringing the back foot to meet the front foot. So just a little lunge forward and you're into Uttanasana. And then you can take your right foot back now, again, hip width apart, and come up into your warrior one. So press the feet apart, come up with a long back. Then we'll start our warrior one off here to the side again. And then coming forward. Then straighten the front knee, coming down over that front leg, over that left leg. Maybe you've got blocks there. Breathe into any tense areas. And then bend the front knee, press the legs apart, come up, long back, come over to the side for a warrior one startup. And here. Probably this isn't super helpful. It's not about slamming your shoulder blades down, but just relax the shoulders. And coming down a second time, over that front leg. And bend the front knee, press the legs apart, coming up a third time, set up here, and then here. And then come down one more time. Warrior one. And then bring the back foot to meet the front foot. And come to standing. Of course, you can't see my hands. So let's do a little fun one. We did a balance pose. We'll just do a little fun one here. So it's called star pose. Well, I guess, I don't know if it's traditional yoga, but I think it's kind of fun. So this is my left leg coming out. Here I am in a star. Now, so what the idea with this one is you want to keep your body, you don't want to be leaning forward. So you're like in one line. Star pose. And coming down. Let's do the other leg. So it's the right leg up. So it's a little bit of abductor, abductor also. And coming down. Ha! And then what I wanted to do was, this is a back, this is for your back, for back bend. So what you're going to do, you have two choices here, and I'm going to go through both of them for you. And it's finding your lumbar spine back here. Find that lumbar spine and have your thumbs on each side of it. And what you're going to do is press those thumbs in and then up. I'm going to double check my feet here. Press them in and up. So you're lifting your multifidi muscles up, and then you can do a back bend, whatever you're comfortable with. So this is a way to support your back bend. So your lower back is supported when you do it. And then coming down. And for some people, they might need to have the thumbs go down if they're super flexible. For those, they may have their thumb go down. And then the other option is to have your knuckles on your back. Same place. So if you're like most people and you're not super flexible, you can then press your knuckles, actually like a fist, the fist in and up for your back bend. Come on the side. For those who are super flexible, you actually go down. So since probably most people aren't super flexible, just remember that you have options if you're super flexible. You don't want to overdo it. So what happens with people that are super flexible, they'll overdo it, and then they get into trouble for that. So you don't want to overdo it because it's easy. Okay, good. So let's just do one more standing pose. And we're just going to do eagle pose here. So this is going to be, actually I'm going to get my right foot on the side. And the block is just by my right foot, so it's on the low setting. And then you take your left foot around, so it's going to come up and around, and it's going to push down onto just the toes are going to push down onto the other block. So this is my left foot over my right, so my left arm will then go under the right. So you're going to come like an X and up. And then you want to have the elbows up as high as your shoulders, and you kind of push out a little. Oops, I lost my balance there. There we go. Engage your core here. Kind of helps with the balance. Here we are. Up. And release. And then we do the other side. So this is my left foot, right foot coming on over. And so my right arm is under my left, like the X, coming up. If you can hold on, that's great. Up. And it helps if you press your legs together. And release. Shake that out. Those hip thingies. And then let's come to the ground again. And if you have a cushion or blankets, grab those. I've got a blanket. It's like a Mexican blanket. You want to fold it over a few times. And so you're going to come to the ground. In fact, a really good exercise to come to the ground, we might want to try that just now. I'm getting a little inspired here, is to come to that runner's lunge with the right leg forward. And just drop that left knee down. Down. This is for strength building. Down. 4, 5, 6, 7. Change foot. So this wasn't in my schedule. But you're down on a low lunge. You're down here. So bring the knee down, right knee down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then if you want to, bring it all the way down. Here we are. Okay, so that is something that you can do to strengthen the legs for sure. But you're also engaging your core. So we're going to do a gate pose. So the blanket is for your feet. Now, if you can put your ankle all the way down, some people can do all the way down, but you notice mine comes up. So if your foot comes up, have a blanket there for it, so it's not just hanging there. And this is my left knee, it's underneath my left hip. And there's a block off to the left, okay? So with gate pose, lifting the left arm up. So you lift up and then side bend over to your right. You feel that your hips are more pointed forwards that way, and then you're not coming off to the side. Breathing in and out. And then coming up, and then take the feet and have them point forward. And now, for some, you might want to just bring your arms up and come over, like that. You can also put your hand on the block, the left hand on the block, and then you can bring your right arm overhead. So whatever is easier for you, or that you want the challenge. So on this side, I think I'll just do this. Feeling the length on the right side of your body here for this side. And coming up. Then we do the other side. Bring the block. blanket over. Good. Having that block ready. And now the left leg is going to come out. Left leg out. And right knee underneath right hip. I need to move out a bit. Here we go. It's a nice thing about teaching. You get to see what you're doing. At least when you're teaching on Zoom or on YouTube. So now that we're going to have the right arm up, and you're going to bend over to the left. Now, another option for this one, you could always have the block behind your right thigh. You can hold your fingertips on that, or they could be on here. Either way. Breathing into that right side of your body here. And then coming up, now this side I'm going to show the other way. The other way is this way. And again, the toes are pointed forward now when you're this way. So there's some abductor work going on there. That's going to get you here. If you have the block, you don't get that. But you get a longer stretch. So you pick what you want to do, what you want to work on. And if you have it, the block here, that right hand is pushing into the block to keep the shoulders from coming to your ears. And then come up. Great. And let's come to Virasana first, which is you can be sitting on a block like this, like a bench, you know, 2 blocks. I prefer doing this. You're just sitting there for just a moment. And just focusing on your Ujjayi breathing. Good. Good to focus on those things. So I thought I'd also do another, it's kind of a rigorous thing to do, but it's kind of like an extended side angle on the ground. And I think I've done this before, but I'm going to do it from the angle so you can see, but so this is not going to be Mary. It'll look different than you. So this is my right knee. It'll look like my left. And I'm going to have this block on the inside of this other leg. So this foot is back there, right behind this knee. And this block is on the inside. You can have it on the high or the medium. And then what you're going to do is do this extended side angle. So you're going to press this arm, so this is my left arm pressed into the left leg. All right, and then the hip goes down. And you open up your heart. And I like to do this. If you can do this if you can't do this, just put your hand on your hip or behind your hip. But I call this like the soldier guy. So here we are. And then forward. Pressing that left arm against the thigh, against the knee. It's kind of like an extended side angle on the floor. But you really feel the stretch on the inside of this one on the left, inside the left leg. Extended side angle on the ground. Move my leg over a little. Here we are. And coming up. Let's do the other side. So to reiterate, this block is in alignment with this knee. So it's not way out here. It's in alignment. So this right leg is out a little bit, okay? Just to kind of give you the idea of alignment. I'm going to put it on high. So I've got my left hand, again, this will look different for you. Left hand on the left hip. And this is my right hand on the block. I'm pressing into this thigh into elbow. Opening the heart. Hip is coming down a little bit. And then I'm opening the heart. And for me, I'm going to do my little soldier guy. And there. Breathing. So you're really pushing so that you can open up more. You're pressing into the arm into the leg to open your heart more. Breathing. And release. And then we're going to do something against the wall. It's going to be a figure 4 on the wall. So I'm going to bring my mat back here. So I'm against the wall, so it'll look a little bit off for you, but I want you to see it. So here we got my mat here. And what you're going to do is almost at the wall, I'm almost there. And I'm sharing space with spiders here. This hasn't been used for a while, as you can imagine. Okay, so you're going to bring yourself close to the wall, not at the wall, not like you're doing legs up the wall. You're close, so here you are. And then you can see what's available. So you can push up with your leg, push into your feet, and then, take your right leg over your left knee like a figure 4, and then you can come down. So you really feel this in the piriformis. So instead of doing it on the ground or in a chair, you can do it on the wall. And if you need a little more stretch, you can go closer to the wall. If you need less stretch, maybe your leg goes up the wall. So find your place, your stretch, and then you can take your right hand and kind of push a little against that right knee. And then change legs. So again, for me, and this may work that way for you, is just to lift up the butt a little, take that left foot around the right knee, and then come down and find that space for you. I'm going to move mine up a little bit for this side. It needs to be accommodated right now. And just make sure that left foot is flexed. So this just gives you what the different options are. And then you push up and down, and then you can come over to the right or the left and push yourself back up to seated. So that's a really nice way to do a figure 4. And I would want to do one more. And because we started late, I'm going to end a little late because this is an hour class. And so we're going to do a thing called the restorative fish pose. So do this if it's available for you. You might need a blanket for your head because it will drop down. If you need 2, be aware that, or you have towels, you could also use towels. So I'm going to do this, just have an extra one there. And so you can have the block on the middle setting, and one is going to go under your sacrum, and one is going to go between your shoulder blades. So I'm going to start here, locate this between my shoulder blades. Where is it? My head's going to come down. So I want these blankets to catch my head if I need it. And maybe some people might want that stretch for the throat, but also you need to be mindful of your head. So I'm going to just, I think I'll do just a little bit more here. Good. Okay. So here we are. So this block is between shoulder blades, the middle setting. And then looking around for the other block, and lift your hips up and put it underneath your sacrum. And this, getting it situated right, this is restorative fish pose. And you just hang out here for a few minutes. And you like I realize now maybe this blanket, I don't need this one. Maybe I just need the one. So you might want to adjust that. And just notice the shoulders now and that heart opening, your feet on the ground, the sensations. And then when you're ready, you can then remove the block from underneath your sacrum and making sure your head is protected. So maybe holding your head as you roll off. And then you might want to, for Shavasana, just a suggestion, you might want to just do legs up the wall. So if you want to do that option, you bring your butt right next to the wall. You're right here, flush, and then bring the legs up. And you can spin Shavasana like this, or maybe your favorite way. This is a nice way to do it. So now just rest, and I have a singing bowl that I will alert you to the end of Shavasana. So just resting and just noticing your body sensations, noticing your mind, and just asking yourself how you feel. If your legs are up the wall, you're just kind of feeling this energy come down your legs. And the relaxation of your shoulders on the ground and your hips. Feeling the breath move your body. was loud. So waking up from your Shavasana to the room around you, wherever that is. Breathing in and out and moving your fingers. If you're on the wall, you can just kind of move your feet back and forth. And then you can just roll off the wall to the side, maybe to the right. And then push yourself up to a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed once you get there. And then bringing your hands to your heart center, Anjali Mudra, your present moment awareness that you have here in the practice, to think about how you can bring that with you. The breathing, the momentary noticing of just sensations, sounds, feelings in the moment. And bowing your head to your hands. Thank you so much for coming here for this YMCA Yoga with Barb. And thank you again. Namaste. Thank you. And goodbye. And I think we're done. Here we go. It was a little loud. This was a little loud.